In today's Worship Leader Wednesday video, we're going to talk about how to value preparation in your worship team. In last Wednesday's Worship Leader Wednesday video, Fuller and I kind of walked you through our rehearsal schedule, how to make a rehearsal schedule, and there were lots of questions, and that's a great video. So if you haven't seen it, check it out. There'll be a link up here down below as well. Today we're going to sort of piggyback on last week's video, and we're going to talk about not only what we expect from our team, we'll hit that in a little bit, but it's not as much about what we expect from our team, but how we equip them to be prepared when it comes to rehearsal. So before we go any further, though, we're going to go to the Bible.
That's right.
And the Bible has a lot to say about preparation.
Proverbs 12:31 says this: "The horse is made ready for the day of battle, but the victory rests with the Lord." And so that's one of my favorite scriptures. And what it is saying is that the soldier has a responsibility. Mm-hmm. And his responsibility is to prepare, is to get ready, is to train, so that when the moment comes, he will have done everything he can physically to prepare, because God wants us to have skin in the game. Mm-hmm. God wants us to have effort in the game. But what's awesome is God takes our natural abilities and then he adds his supernatural abilities, and that's where the victory comes. God honors the preparation. God honors the work because he knows our hearts. And when our hearts are right, we want to give everything we got to the Lord.
Okay, so how can we, as worship leaders, set our teams up for success? That's the language we like to use.
Yeah.
Set people up for success so that on rehearsal night, Sunday morning, people can bring their best. What can we do as worship leaders to encourage that, to facilitate that among our teams? We've got, 3 points today that we're going to go through? Before we set people up for success, though, it is extremely important that you, as worship leaders, show up prepared ourselves.
When I show up at a rehearsal that I'm in charge of, even if I'm not in charge of, I want to be the most prepared person in the room. I might be playing guitar, but I want to know what the drummer is supposed to be doing. I want to know what the bass player is supposed to be doing. I want to know what each vocalist is supposed to be singing. I want to know what the tech people are supposed to be doing. Not because I'm like egotistical control freak, but I want them to know that if there's a problem, I will be able to help you solve it. And when you come that prepared, people gain respect. Great musicians will go, I'm going to follow that guy because he knows what he's doing and he's going to lead us down this path of success. And B, it just says, hey, I'm willing to do the things that I'm asking you to do. And people respect that.
And you don't have to be a worship leader to do this.
Not at all.
A lot of you I know are watching are just on the team as a guitar player, drummer, vocalist, whatever. If you show up prepared, if you're the most prepared person in the room, hopefully it will inspire your worship leader to take their game up. But it will inspire the people around you. You can lead up. We have a few points for you worship leaders. If you're wanting to sort of take the game up to the next level, number one is to assess your team.
Assess your team.
What does that mean?
We walk in with this expectation that what we're about to do is going to sound like the London Philharmonic. It's going to sound like Israel or Chris Tomlin or Hillsong. And the reality is, that's great to have that bar, that high standard. A lot of our musicians, a lot of our teams, they're part-time musicians and they're trying the best they can with the talents God's given them. You need to know that. You need to know where they are musically and get to know them and understand them and assess where they're at. And so if you know that you have a drummer that's only been playing a few years and can kind of keep a steady beat but nothing fancy, then don't do a bunch of crazy songs with crazy drum parts. Because A, it's not going to sound good, and B, it's going to be frustrating for everyone, and it's not going to be inspiring for a drummer who's trying. Because if, as a musician, if you're trying to learn a song, it's very frustrating if you can't actually even physically do it. So know your team and make it fun for people. And as you know your team, you'll be able to pick songs based on that team. And you'll be able to make wise decisions. You might not have the best musicians in the world, but if they have the heart to serve and they have the desire to prepare, you can do amazing things. And I would argue that that's where the best worship comes from. People who are giving their hearts to the cause, they're giving their hearts to Jesus, not people who are incredible musicians,
Yeah.
but people who are just there to serve and there to do whatever God's calling them to do. That's where you'll have amazing worship.
Nice. The second point is to resource your team. You probably have a lot of musicians who want to get better, who want to know how to play specific parts, and there are so many resources out there that you can point them to help them out. So I'm just gonna, and we're also gonna talk about here in this point about how to what to give your team to help them like know what songs are coming, know what arrangements are coming. Okay, so the first thing is you can use worship tutorials. It's completely free. I'll plug my own website here.
Never heard of it.
Never, yeah. So if you've got an acoustic guitar player or maybe vocalist or that kind of thing, and they want to learn how to play songs, we've covered so many hundreds and hundreds of songs here at Worship Tutorials. Just point them to the videos, and it'll help your guitar players learn how to play songs. Some electric guitar stuff. If you want other instrumentation though, like drums, keys, bass, we love Jason and Worship Artistry.
Yeah,
the guys
they're
over
awesome.
at Worship Artistry are great. It's
stuff.
not a free website, but they will work with you to equip your whole team if that's something you want. Links for all this stuff will be below the video here. Worship Artistry is great. The other thing is you can just get on YouTube and search.
YouTube University.
Yeah. There's so
I've learned
much out
so
there.
much about
Like,
so many things.
Just take a song
YouTube.
and say,
Yeah.
this song, lead guitar tutorial,
Yeah.
drum tutorial, key. It's out there.
Yep.
And so some of it's better than others. On YouTube, you kind of never know what you're going to get.
That's true.
Hopefully, you know what you're going to get with worship tutorials.
Unfiltered.
But and worship artistry and that kind of stuff. That's high level teaching. But
and a lot of people don't even think about that.
Yeah.
Like the guy who's a part-time guitar
Just
player,
send it.
he's not thinking about that stuff. So if you can send him that and take
Just
that
send him an
initiative,
email.
he's going to appreciate that.
Yeah. He might use it, he might not, but at least you give him the opportunity. The other thing about resourcing your team is let them know what songs you're going to play and exactly how you're going to play them.
That's important.
Yes.
Exactly.
Maybe I should have led with that one.
Exactly how you're going to play them.
The arrangement you're going to use, the parts you want people to feel, the dynamics of the song. We use and love a service called Planning Center Online. Again, a link below. If you're not familiar with Planning Center, it allows you to have all your people, all your team sort of in the system. It allows you to craft a worship service. It allows you to add songs, and you can add all kinds of things. Chord charts, MP3s, YouTube videos. You can add like the tutorial videos right there in Planning Center. It's attached to the song. And then you can add click tracks if you have them. You can have different arrangements of songs. So you can play a song
whatever
ways.
you need is there.
It's a great service. We love Planning Center. If you're a small church and you think, I can't pay for something like that, they have a free version that you can check out.
You can't beat free.
As well.
People ask me, what's Planning Center Online? I say it's simple. It's a center where you can do your planning online.
Yes.
And so, like, what else is better than that?
It's awesome.
So, yeah. There you go.
But we shoot for at least 2 weeks in advance. We make sure all of the arrangements are exactly the same as what we're going to play.
Accurate. Don't just send a random link.
The chord charts are the same arrangement, the same key.
Yeah.
That's extremely important.
Yeah.
Don't change keys on people at the last minute if you can't help it. But resourcing your team is so important. And if you do not resource your team well, you will set them up to fail. Okay, so the last point is this: celebrate and challenge. And then there's a question that we have that's a powerful question you can ask your team members.
So let's celebrate the people who are doing it well. Let's celebrate when things work out well, when weekends go great, when people come prepared. Let's celebrate it because people imitate what you celebrate. Challenge. If you have one particular person that just always is coming unprepared, challenge them. Just say, challenge them to come prepared. And the third thing is ask this question: what can I do to help you? Because I don't think I've ever met anyone that shows up unprepared because they don't want to prepare and they don't care.
Yeah.
Like, it's always an external circumstance, either their situation or their musical. There's something holding them back, and as the leader, that's why we're worship leaders. Not to make great music. We're worship leaders to develop people.
Yeah, to pastor people.
And to pastor people, and this is how you can help them. But you can't do that if you don't have a relationship with them. So you got to know your people. You got to get to know them. For me personally, if I see a trend where there's one specific person that's either coming consistently unprepared or coming late a lot, that's a huge red flag.
Yeah.
And that what that says to me is they need relationship.
Something's going on in their
Yeah,
life.
something's going on.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, hey, let's go grab coffee. Let's talk or whatever. Let's talk after church and just get to know them. Hey, man, what's going on? And then you find out maybe like, you know, their son's been in the hospital or something. And you're like, dude, suddenly learning how great is our God doesn't really mean much.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, because life starts to happen. But when you get to know people, then you can really challenge them and find out where they're at and create avenues for them to kind of break through those obstacles.
Oh, we forgot one thing, Fuller.
Oh, yeah.
What do we expect from our team when they come to a rehearsal? We said we were going to tell people that. What do we expect from our team members?
That's a great question. Here's my philosophy on this. Every single person's different.
Yeah.
Right? We got like 4 drummers on our team from here to here, and they all have different things they do well. Like, you cannot expect the same thing from everyone.
Yeah.
Right? You can't expect every guitar player to be like, you know, The Edge or Jimi Hendrix. But what you do as you get to know your people, you know where their limits are. Mm-hmm. And I always tell my people this. I don't expect you to be the best, but I expect the best from you.
Yeah.
Not because I want your best, but because God deserves our best. And so once you kind of figure out your team, you just expect them to bring their A game.
Yeah.
And I know that this bass player, this is their level. So if they come here, we need to talk.
Yeah.
Every now and then they'll go here, you know, but they're not going to be here. That's unrealistic. Mm-hmm. But the guy who's here, he better not come here because he's winging it, right?
Yeah.
And so I think God deserves our best. And best is different for everyone. Yeah. And so we need to, as leaders, be able to assess what people's best are. And then if people are hitting their best, then you can push them to be better in increments. And that honors God.
Yeah. And there are a few guidelines that we expect from people as well. One, we expect people to be on time.
Always be punctual. Anyone can do that. Doesn't take any preparation.
If they aren't on time, we have a conversation with them. Maybe it's a work thing. Maybe it's a family thing. Yeah. And we certainly make exceptions for that. It's not like we're kicking someone off the team.
No, people
if they're late.
It happens. Life happens.
You know, but we expect people to be on time to rehearsals and to Sunday mornings. Mm-hmm. We expect people to have prepared the songs. Yeah. We do not spend time in rehearsal learning how to play the song.
There's a difference between practice and rehearsal and run through.
And we expect people
practice is when you sit in your room and you figure out a riff. You should not be doing that when other people are in the room. No. That's done on your time. Yeah. That's ownership, basic ownership. So if you're to the point where people on your team are showing up and they don't know the songs, you need to have a conversation with them because they might not be ready to serve.
Yeah. And so part of that is, you know, we don't have music stands on our stage typically at rehearsal because we expect people to know the songs.
We equip them and give them what they need to do that.
And so, but yeah, like Fuller said, we expect people to bring their best. Yeah. Not the best that there is, but their best. Thank you for hanging out with us on Wednesday, Worship Leader Wednesday. Make sure to subscribe here to us on YouTube. You don't want to miss the next one. See ya.